If you involve yourself into something so much, you're gonna start doing it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wiser Together. I'm your host, Parmeet Kumar, and as always, I'm joined here with a very good friend of mine, my partner, and the co host of this podcast, Anaspasha.
Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well.
How's it going, bro? How's your day going?
The day just started here. It's 8:30 now. So
Yeah.
actually not started. It's just it's in its second phase, I guess. What
Bro,
about you?
I mean, I'm pretty much towards the end of my day. It's almost 4 p.m. and
Wow.
I kind of stop working around 6 p.m. and then I sleep by
Hmm.
like 9. So pretty much towards the end of my day. But I was gonna say that it's kind of good for you in the sense because like I spend my whole day and then I start recording with you, and then you're doing this first thing in the day. So it's you kind of
Second, actually,
yeah.
the first is always getting up and working out. Without it, I can't function. I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, but the point I was making is that it's like you kind of start your day. It's throughout.
Hmm.
It's in the beginning of the day for you, whereas for me, it's towards the end. And even though we try and intend to keep it sort of midday for me, it
Hmm.
always ends up being 2 hour delayed.
Well,
we
we
got
can't help it. It's like 7 hours difference.
I know, bro. And
Yeah.
obviously, like, this is very new to us, so we're figuring out a lot of stuff. So, uh, nothing goes as per schedule, but we're just glad we get through it, at least.
Yeah, most definitely. It's even right now our time was to join at 7:30, but we were just figuring out some last minute glitches. This
Yeah.
this sort of technology is something new, like we've always had meetings on Google Meets and Zooms and this and that, but this is something different. Having two cameras, three recording devices, two phones recording. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's a beast.
it's a bit complicated. The
It
first
is.
for both of us, and obviously we all got to start somewhere. So here we are.
Yes,
As
sir.
long as we keep going at it, it's only a matter of time before we figure it out like completely. But that being said, you were
Yo,
asking me about what was it?
holy.
Holy? Yeah. How
Yeah,
did
I
you
was
find
asking
out?
if Oh, actually, a couple of my friends were talking about it last week. They were talking about some holy party today,
Yeah.
like last week to be on Sunday.
Hmm.
So I just remembered that today was Sunday. So I thought to ask you because you told me that you had celebrated it before. So just wanted to confirm.
I'm so distant from these cultural events, bro. Like, I honestly like there's other people like my friends who are not even per se identify as Hindu.
Yeah.
Uh, Neither do I, but we'll get into that at some point. But yeah, it's like they're more involved in it, and they come and tell me, "Oh, there's this event going on, this and that. Do you want to go?" and stuff like that. So I've just been so distant. So when you asked me, like, I was like, I really don't know, and
I saw
not
your
just
reaction as well. Yeah.
yeah, like I really don't know. The only thing, if there's some party going on here and there, like I'd find out about it. I wouldn't go, but I'd just like so I just genuinely don't know when exactly what the date is for Holi, but yeah, I guess it's around this time.
Okay, so but let me just ask you because I remember 2 years ago when we were back in Karachi together, you had celebrated Rakhi. I can't
Yeah,
remember the full name. So when you say that right now that you're not identifying as that,
yeah,
but at the same time, I just want to ask you that if Rakhi comes around, because I do know this much that it has to do something with brother and sister, right? Like it's sort
yeah.
of a a family bonding situation. So
Yeah.
would you eagerly participate it now, having this identification?
Uh, Firstly, like all these events, they're partly religious, partly cultural as well. Like we see them being celebrated across different cultures and stuff. But I think Rakhi is something that is specifically in Hinduism only. Uh, but yeah, that is one that I do participate in all of them if I get a chance to. But
Yeah.
that's just when I'm back home. It's with family, so I would participate in it. But yeah, same with Rocky as well if I get a chance to. And it's just the concept behind Rakhi Bandhan is, as far as I know, or as much as I know,
Okay.
it's just you tie a sort of uh, knot in your
Yeah,
sister's wrist, and then it's a promise to that you're going to protect her uh,
that's beautiful.
forever, and then you have to. Oh, actually, it's the other way around. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, because you're the one who used to come with knots
Yeah,
on your hands.
yeah. So she would tie a knot in my hand, uh, promising me to protect me forever, something like this. I don't know, but then all I know is that
And
I
let's say
gotta.
both of you are protecting each other.
Yeah, basically. But all I know is that at the end of the day, I have to get her a nice gift and stuff. And yeah, there's a little like religious puja and stuff like that. But
Yes.
yeah, that's pretty much it. But
No, that's
I.
very wholesome. It actually, I could see on your face as well when I mentioned this. I'm sure you must have gone back in time in your head, and that must have given you warm thoughts. So I guess
Yeah.
what I can pick up is that this is something that you like to celebrate with family. It makes
Yeah.
much more sense. It gives much more meaning. Um, it's sort of like what my friends were saying to attend this event, but I was like, I don't even know the significance, right?
Yeah.
Much alone than just go and spill color over different people. For me, it's like just trying to understand what's the significance of it, and yes, and from what I've seen and what I've understood, it has definitely a religious significance to it. So I get it. With family, it is just makes it much more better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For me as well, it's just about having to spend that time and occasion with family. I have absolutely no uh, religious regard for it. I don't look at it or celebrate it from that point of view. So yeah, it's just another family gathering. Because that's the thing I realized when I moved out of Pakistan 8 years ago, and I was living alone, and there was a lot of times when these festivals or whatever you want to call them came around, and I was obviously not with family, so I didn't even bother celebrating them or anything. I was least concerned. So yeah, but
No, I do
it
understand.
yeah. How about like, okay, let's say hypothetically, I want to understand the same situation from your religious point of view. Hypothetically, you're living in a country abroad without your family and stuff, and Eid comes around, which is obviously one of the biggest religious festivals. Uh, yeah, how would you go about celebrating that? It wouldn't be the same, of course. I know the whole concept of Eid is to bring family together and stuff like that. But how would you go around celebrating it?
Correct. Well, in Islam, sort of, there aren't many. I mean, if you like to, there can be many days to celebrate. Of course, every day should be a day to celebrate, be happy. Every day should be Eid. Anyways, but there are two special Eids, right, that we
Yeah,
have, because Eid, if I'm not wrong, it just means a day to celebrate or celebration. Anyway, so I can sort of relate to this because I have spent two Eids abroad now. So,
yeah,
but in all four of them, because you have two each year, my brother and my mother have been here with me. So I guess, of course, like that has sort of like how do I say, like soften the blow, because of course I have my brother and my mom with me. We, like, is the day goes like we just wake up, pray, and then we come back home,
No,
wish
I
we
was
see each
saying
other.
hypothetically, if you weren't,
Yeah.
if
Oh,
let's
sorry, I
say,
missed your question. I get it. I'm
yeah,
really sorry. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. It would be sort of like how you've described. I would just go about my day. I would perform my religious duties because that is something that you must do. And
yeah,
then I would just come back home, probably catch up on my sleep. We were just discussing how sleep deprived I have been this
yeah,
week. This week has been go 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 go. But yeah, definitely I would, yeah, sort of kick back. I would sort of relax, indulge in a couple of my indulgences. I don't know if I butchered the word. Anyways, I would definitely take this day to relax, because on that day I would definitely be missing friends and family, because
yeah.
it is like that. I'm sure you must also relate like that. So just to, yeah, just to enjoy myself, I would just sort of distract myself, if that would be the answer, and do as much as I can from here to celebrate with them. That's it. And yeah, the day would get over and we would go on about our day.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the
sorry,
thing.
like,
That's the weird thing about it. Like when family's not around, the whole thing just flips 360 degree, 180 degree, or rather.
yeah,
And
yeah. I swear, nobody knows that.
only
Everybody
us.
says 360.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, bro, you get it, but some people don't get it.
guys, it's 180. If you
Yeah,
want something to flip like this or this to this, it's 180, not 360.
yeah,
360 would bring it back to its original position.
yeah. If you're a
FIR.
math, if you're a math nerd like me, you'll probably get
Yes.
it. But
Parmeet is.
but coming back to that, talk to me about that. How you've been sleep deprived, bro? Like, because as I've
Well,
told you
okay.
before, I consider it the foundation to everything I do.
No, no,
Sleep,
trust.
and
Oh
we'll
my
get
God,
into it.
no.
But how much
Sleep.
have you been sleeping?
If you had like a superpower, that would be sleep, because that is just regeneration, right? That just gives you, like, that is your charger, that is your USB-C, that is your lightning port, whatever you want to call it.
Mm, yeah,
And it is. I'm totally in line with you on this. For me, 6 hours have been great enough, because I really take care of myself. I do not, as of right now, do not have any vices that could damage my health. So that really, really goes in line with me. Diet also helps, but sleep deprivation is happening because of, I think, we are too much in our workflow. And you see, it's not as if that when you go to bed you close your eyes and put your pillow on the back
yeah.
of your head. It's as it has as much as to do with shutting this off. So if you can't shut your mind off, and if you can't stop thinking about the next task or the next thing to do, your quality of sleep will be deprived. You'll probably, so I wear my Apple Watch to sleep, right?
Yeah,
And in that, it tells me everything. It tells me about my REM sleep, my deep sleep, all of my sleeping cycles,
it
and how
tracks
many
it. Yeah.
minutes. Yes, and how many minutes I've been up. So as of now, I've been up like 4 quarters, like 15 minutes each throughout the night. And that's not good, because you should
Last night.
be more or less average, I'm telling you.
Okay.
If I, because it's such a comprehensive data. Last night I didn't check. We'll check after this, but on average, this is what has been happening, and I believe that has been affecting my sleep quality. And I mean, I do wake up fresh, but there is still that sort of a feeling, a sensation that something is pulling you, something is trying to close your eyes.
Does
So
that
that is when, yeah, sorry.
does that naturally come from you feel like you haven't slept well, or does it come from the fact that when you check the data, it has a psychological impact on the way you think, and then subconsciously you're just thinking, oh, the data proves I didn't sleep properly, so then that affects your. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, definitely. What I believe what you're talking about is placebo effect. So yeah, it has a placebo effect for sure. Our mind, look, man, our minds will think in any direction you put it to. It's like a dog chasing a bone. So the bone is that data. If I see definitely that my sleep quality has been affected, I would think like that. It has to do with psychological. Yeah, it has to do with your mindset. If so, I think you just made me realize a very important point. So I will stop checking that.
No, I mean it's I. What's the point of it? The point of it is to understand how good you're sleeping, right? But I feel like if you're doing it so regularly on a daily basis, I mean that's for you to figure out what works for you best. But I guess a healthy way of dealing with this would be to check it maybe after maybe once or twice a week, just to gather that data and then make those minor improvements with the data you have for the week, not per day, because that's very specific. It could be very much influenced by what you ate the night before, or how you were feeling, or how your day was, how tired you were. So in a way, like if you're just looking at data on a day-to-day basis, that would fluctuate more, and then it's not like a good representation of how you sleep generally. Maybe a data carried and picked up uh, over a week's time or a month's time would give you a better, idea of how good or bad you're sleeping.
No, that is true. And I think the word that you use, adjustments, that is just very important. And actually, that is why I wear the watch to sleep, just to have data, just to understand, okay, what is happening, what went wrong for me, because my life is a standard template. I find it very convenient because the
Yeah.
diet would be the same, the sleeping time would almost be the same, give or take 15 minutes. The bed is always the same. The conditions of the room temperature is also the same.
Those things
So
help.
yeah. So just to see why it's fluctuating. And normally, yes, you're right. Like if I take the average out, it's the same, but it's also like I would say, very good point. The placebo effect is definitely a thing. It exists, and the more you think about it, that why it's there. And if you see a particular thing that, okay, yes, I did wake up 4 times in a night, in one single night, and that could make me think that, okay, I did not have a good night's sleep as compared to the night before, and
Yeah.
that in turn would set out my day. So I would say, yeah, placebo effect is definitely a thing. As for data, checking it on a weekly basis is far better. Yeah,
Right, because the point is to make adjustments, right? Because on a daily basis, realistically, you can't make many adjustments anyway,
you
and
can't.
you can't do it again and again and again every day. Like you'd rather have a considerable amount of data that you can act on, and then based on that you go forward. But the thing you mentioned, sleeping on same time in the same bed with the same environment, same kind of light exposure and everything, is so good for your sleep.
And with the same people. I'm kidding. I sleep alone.
But what I was trying to say is that's good. But what happens is there's actually research been done on this. If you if you sleep in bed or in an environment that you're not familiar with every day, so let's say tomorrow I go for a staycation and I go sleep in a hotel room, I wouldn't sleep the same way, and the reason behind that is evolutionary. Obviously, we were hunters and gatherers, so we had to sleep in random places, and there was a part of our brain that always used to be awake, right? And we never really got into that sort of deep sleep because you're always vigilant for animals and
Yeah,
people or whatnot, right? So it's actually been proven that when you go and sleep in an environment or in a bed that is not familiar to you, that has sort of a chemical reaction in your brain, and you don't actually go into deep sleep.
you
That,
can't. Yeah,
yeah, that part of your brain that evolutionary has been there is activated, and it just tries to be vigilant and is always. That's why, like a lot of people, when they go, they can't sleep the best in when they go in new environments. And but this is also, there's
oh,
a counter argument to this, that as we've evolved as well, people have started moving around a lot, and because we're not as vigilant anymore, we don't have to worry about those kind of threats. That part of the brain has kind of died down, and you kind of get used to sleeping in different places. So
Man, I don't think I think that will always be there because you see, for me, um, it's always like this. I can't if I sleep in another room in another bed,
yeah,
especially if I'm sleeping alone, the light will be on because for me, you know what is my scariest? So there's a movie called Hereditary. I'm butchering the name, and it has a scene in which the lights are all turned off, and in the corner of the wall there is a witch. Okay, there's a witch in
yeah.
the corner of the wall.
This is a
For
horror
me,
movie.
it's a horror movie. For me, that is a scene that is registered in my head. If I sleep in
That's
another
not good.
environment, in another room, I can't without the light because I know if the lights are off and if I wake up and see on the corner of the wall something is there. I told you this because I believe this is what my ancestors left me. Of course, for me, it's not another tribe. It's not an animal. For me, that particular thing has channelized into this. So I myself cannot do this,
You
but
found your own
my
version of it.
yes, exactly. My projection is that witch on the corner of the wall, like on the corner, just sitting over there staring at me. So the light must be there. Light must be there.
Do you
Until this, I've
have?
slept two nights in a row in that particular room. The light
Yeah,
will not
then you
go
get
off.
comfortable. Yeah.
The light
Okay,
will not
so
go
you
off.
you have trouble sleeping in the house alone, or
No, in my house that is fine. That is fine. I made a deal with the witch. She's not there. She's not here. I'm just kidding. But in my house it's fine. Somewhere else, it can't happen. It will take me at least 2 nights. I still remember when I went to
so
Istanbul
you
and
sleep with lights on in a new
in
place?
another in a new place. Yeah, for sure. It
Is it
has to
because
be.
is it because of that picture that's registered in your mind that if you look in that corner,
He
something?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm 27 years old. I don't lie about this stuff. It's true.
No.
That is definitely a thing that I have. I need because you see, if I am sleeping, it has happened to me. Even with the lights, it's not even about lights on or off. It's like a safety guarantee. Even if I sleep with the lights off, I would just wake up and flash my torch, just to
To
have that
check.
light. Just yes,
Uh,
exactly. So I would just rather avoid that and keep the light on.
but that's just
So
making your problem bigger and deeper. That's not the way to solve it. How do you overcome this? That's not how you overcome this.
after 2 nights, it just gets normal. You see, like you adapt. You just adapt. But initially, it's like, how do I say? Like I'll just go off track.
Yeah.
When you encounter a new smell, whether it be good or bad, right? Your olfactory, your nose, right? So after a while, when you're in the room, you just can't differentiate, because initially you can differentiate the smell, but then you get used to it. Even while wearing your own perfume, initially when you spray it on you, you might just smell it, but after, like, let's say 10 to 15 seconds, you can't, like, just
Yeah,
differentiate,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you just
yeah.
get you just adapt to it. So it's the same thing with me. It takes me 1 or 2 nights just to uh, say to myself, yes, we've done a test run, there's no witch, so you can just turn out the lights now.
So if you're going on like a work trip or something alone to another country and you check into a hotel, you stay in a hotel, so you would sleep
The
with
lights are
lights
on,
on.
yeah, the lights are on for sure.
How
if
can
if
but
someone
how can you
oh,
sleep with lights on? I don't. First of all, okay, I want to put this out there, and I know there's a lot of you, but I don't get people who can sleep with lights on fully.
because it's like my brain is probably saying that, okay, you're sacrificing some quality of sleep, but you're guaranteeing your safety. It's like a trade-off, if I were to say. So yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain would just say, okay, it is what it is, man. It's better than, you see, because, okay, let
You
me
do
just
it out of
explain.
fear. This is the difference, though. You do it out
No,
of
actually, fear is just a word. What is happening behind the scenes is something called cortisol, right? That is a
yeah,
stress hormone.
yeah.
Actually, every day when we wake up, it's not because we're waking up. What is happening behind is your cortisol levels are rising. How you sleep is when your cortisol levels are the lowest, your stress hormone.
True. Yeah.
So when you wake up, how do I say, like, usually when people even wake up, they wake up from a nightmare or something like that. It's just, those things are just very ancillary. Those things are very just, like, how do I say, they're like gimmicky. They're not real.
Yeah.
is just your body of telling, giving you cortisol to just wake up. That's it. So if you think like
Oh,
that, yeah,
is that why
it
you
is like
have
that.
that? Is that why you always have that nightmare like just before waking up?
Yes.
Wow, that's
You
crazy,
see, it's
bro.
just your brain is, you're nothing. Your brain is everything, and your brain is, he knows, he, it, she. I don't know what gender, but let's
Let's
just
not
call
get
it
into this
it.
topic. This has been
Yeah,
so controversial, bro.
it is
I,
very controversial, guys. We will cut this, but
man,
the
yeah.
point is, okay, it is just cortisol. So actually, when I'm keeping the lights on, that is my way of reducing the cortisol, because if the lights are off, my cortisol is high. So if, I don't know, man, if I had like an Excel sheet
That's
right
some.
now, I could
That's
probably explain
some.
it better.
No, no, I
But
understand. That's pretty deep, bro. But what I was saying is, what I was trying to say is, you obviously like sleeping with lights switched off. It's only in a
yes,
new place that you would keep them on because of that underlying fear that
of
you have,
course,
which
yes.
is there. Fear is there, right?
Where is there?
Of course.
Actually, I would argue just a little bit that sometimes it's okay for me. It's that which, right? For some people, it can be any other thing.
Anything, anything.
I
Yeah,
Yeah, you know that I use Reddit a lot, and
yeah.
for people who
Yeah.
know Reddit, is just an amazing source of information, anecdotal, like firsthand. And I've read a ton of horror things, horror stories, and things about people sleeping in different locations and things happening. Not necessarily, I mean, 99% of the population, they sleep, they wake up fine in another environment. But it's just for everyone, there are a lot of measures. Like, for example, I read this one encounter on Reddit that a person, what he does is he keeps a sheet of bubble wrap with them, right? And
Yeah.
they lay it out in front of the door. Okay, so why they do that is because, for example, if someone does come in the night, the first thing that they're doing is stepping on those bubble wrap. Bubble wrap explodes, you know, pop, 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 pop. It makes
Mm-hmm.
noise. The guy wakes up. So,
This
so there are
happened.
many things. Of course, this happened. There are so many things, bro. I start
I
sending you
don't.
links. I guess
I know.
this is.
Apart from this, even though you have this underlying fear, you're still so enthusiastic about horror movies and stuff like that.
I love them. Oof, I
Yeah,
love
that's what
them.
I'm saying. Like,
I
it's
love
like
them.
it's like they scare you, but you still like. I guess it's the adrenaline, but
Adrenaline. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You see, I'm very scared of them. I do believe in them. I respect them. Peace. But the it's just so exciting, you know. It's just
yeah,
que, you know, for some things that you can't see and they exist and they're always around you, and they're good, they're bad. Actually, I'll tell you why I like them. You see, me as a person, I am very calculated when it comes to risk. I would like to know
I can vouch for that.
every possible danger that can, every possible thing that can harm me, my friends, or my family.
Yeah,
Knowledge is power. It's like if you have knowledge, if you know things that have happened to people, you can definitely use that knowledge to not let it happen to you.
yeah,
That's it. Like when you read things, like for example, like in Dubai, over here, Parmeet can vouch for it. It's the most safest city in the world. The
it
only way
is.
you can die over here, if God forbid, is through a car accident. And it's that because the infrastructure is just so amazing and the cars here are just powerful, right? And if you're not careful on how you drive and how you you know, like there are many ways of driving, but people over here, they're not careful as to how they drive. So on Reddit, I read a lot about things, a lot about accidents, and a lot about how, you know, to always keep your tire pressures in check, to always leave 2 seconds a gap in front of you and the car. And there are so many road traps, such as cameras, and then road signs that you must follow. And if you're not careful, then your car can be out of control. There's so many things. So this is what you learn, and this is what I was trying to say with ghost and horror movies and everything. They just give you so much knowledge, because this is one realm that everyone has varying, how do I say, like perceptions about and beliefs about.
Yeah,
So I must understand. I must learn what is that in Islam. What is that? What does that mean in Hinduism? What does that mean in Christianity? In every sort of religion, just to protect my friends and family. That is it, guys. It is just
Just,
insurance policy. And
uh,
Alhamdulillah, 27 years old, I have not encountered anything.
no
And
paranormal activity as of
no, no,
yet.
no, no, nothing as of now. Nothing, nothing as of now. Because again, like I said, peace. I do respect everyone and
But
every
I
entity.
feel like your psyche is so strong, just as a human, right? Not you, everyone. Generally, I'm saying that if you involve yourself into something so much, you're gonna start seeing it, whatever it is. So that being said, if you're, I know you're not overly enthusiastic about these things.
True, true. I'm
Uh,
not a fanatic like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
just a
But
casual
if
viewer. Yeah.
yeah, if someone is, then they're definitely going to experience something because that's all they're thinking about. That's the pretty much only energy that's flowing through their body. Their all their attention and thoughts are directed towards that sort of outcome.
I
Or
I know people, I know friends who've acted upon it. You see, the difference I would make between me and such people would be that I have the information, I use it as a safeguard, a fail
yeah,
guard, okay, that I can at least diagnose what is happening.
yeah.
But I know people who use this information and act upon it, and things have happened to them. Things have happened to them. They ventured into things that they were not supposed to, and they thought that it would just be a joke, and things happen, and then they had to involve spiritual leaders to sort things out. And our mutual friends have also had things done on them, like they didn't do, people
Who
did things on them. Of course, I can't, I can't say that on air, but
will?
I will tell you on air. Yeah, I'll tell you off air. But yes,
No,
there was a whole.
write it in the chat. I'm so curious, bro. Just write the name in
Acha,
the chat.
we can write over here. I don't know. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
there's a chat.
Over here. Oh shit. Okay.
Guys, Riverside is awesome. We're gonna get sponsored very soon.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
oh bro, that's the first person I
Yes,
thought
yes,
of.
yes. No, no, no. He told me that there was someone chasing him in his dreams, and when they yeah, there was like a particular lady that was chasing him in his dreams. He would escape, luckily, and
When was this?
um, I
Long
don't know,
ago.
maybe 5 years ago now. Yeah, 5 years ago. No, things are good now. Things are sorted, and even him as well. Not him particularly. I'm writing his name, but his in his family.
Family?
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah, in his family. Yeah. So they like in their house they found a couple of things. So the point is, guys, like why these things are happen or is because mostly 99 or 100% of the time it's because of envy. It's because of envy, hatred, and grudge. And it's not even our friends. It's, I'm sure you guys must have heard, and this goes not particularly to religion but every other culture as well. And there is some sort of grudge, there is some sort of envy that manifests itself into something which is very supernatural, disturbing, and paranormal.
Yeah.
And honestly, these people think that they can harm the other person, but the most damage is being done to them and their soul and their connection to God. That's it. They're the one losing
Yeah.
out.
I mean, personally, I've heard like countless stories, and especially where we come from, Pakistan, and spent a lot of time growing up there. These kind of stories are a lot of people bullshit a lot as well, and they're like everybody wants to
For
hear
sure.
this kind of story. So I tell you something, you tell something else to someone, and by the time it gets to the
Chinese
fifth, sixth,
whispers.
basically, right?
Yeah.
So it just blows up so much, and the reality of it nobody really knows. So personally, I'm a very rational person, so I don't believe in something until
I know,
I,
yes. Yeah.
right?
I know
So
you.
this all, and I would love to experience it and stuff like that. And I have, uh, because I put myself, I deal with myself in this manner. I don't even give any sort of attention to uh, the thoughts of this kind, or there
So you don't
being.
watch horror movies, right?
I watch horror movies, but they're funny to me. Like I'm laughing, bro.
There are 99% of the time there are only a couple of good
Like
horror movies,
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
yeah. They're like it's so dramatic, and it's yeah. And that's why I don't
But
really like
wait,
them. It's boring.
Okay, so you've never had any encounter with like really like shook you and you were like very scared, like, in that sort of sense.
In not in that way. I've obviously seen, uh, in the way that I've obviously, not in a horror kind of way at all. I've obviously felt a certain kind of energy and have a certain thought going on in my mind, and then I would see that so blatantly in front of me in the real world, and then that kind of blows me away. And it happened to me yesterday as well, and we can talk
Whoa.
about it in a
Yeah,
bit. But
please.
okay, so and I'm kind of glad we got out of the horror stories topic as well. But this is so crazy, bro. I was
We
journaling.
must we must call a supernatural expert or someone that would
That
be a
would be
point.
good. That would be good. No, I love talking about all these things because for me it's just generally about, and the essence of this podcast as well is just having that different perspective to look at things, right? And the more perspectives you have, the better you can analyze it
True,
and whatnot.
true.
So anyway, that being said, coming back to the story, yesterday I was just in a park sitting having lunch, and then I see somebody skipping, right? And they're doing it really well. So I was like, oh, maybe I could try that. But then I was thinking, this is a thought process that's going in my head. And I was thinking, oh, I could try that, but my rope isn't that long. I would need a longer rope. Then I remembered that I just I joined this new gym. They gave me a rope, a longer rope, which looks like this. It's
Okay.
pink in color. It kind of looks like Hello Kitty or something. I don't know.
Uh,
But anyway, it's just a skipping rope. So then I was thinking, like, why is it so like in your face? Like it's so pink and it kind of feels like feminine. And then I got into thinking, why do we have colors for genders? Why do we have blue for male and pink for females? And then I was just thinking, from the time we were born up until now, the different ways we were kind of told that this is for this person and this is for this person. And then I got to thinking that not in Australia, but in some places, like if you're wearing pink, then it's kind of like look weirdly upon. I'm just being honest. This is my way of how I see things, right?
true.
And I was just thinking all this, and then I see a just dog running around in front of me in the park, and then he's wearing a pink strap, and it says blue on the strap, and I'm like, bro, I was blown
What
away. I was like,
what is happening?
how is this happening? And the thought initiated from skipping rope. The thought initiated. I was like, whoa, how is this possible? So this kind of
It
thing.
was wearing a pink something and it was written blue on it.
No, so you know the straps they have.
What was in your lunch? I must ask
I was
before.
just having a sandwich.
There was mushroom and
No, no,
Swiss
nothing like that.
sandwich like that.
Nothing like that. But yeah, man, I'm just thinking through this, and the timing was so perfect. It was so perfect. Nah, it was like one of the craziest
It
moments.
was like life was just taunting you right in the face. Like here's
Yeah,
what's the thing, man? It's like those riddles, anyways. It was
but
a
it
puzzle
was
for you to solve.
yeah, but it was so in my face, and I'm like, why now? Why do I have this thought right now? We just started initiated
Precisely.
from skipping rope, which then I got a skipping rope, which was pink, and then I started thinking to myself, and then I see this in front of me. I was blown away, bro. And this has happened a few times. This one just happened yesterday, so it's quite recent. So it's just fresh on my mind. But it's crazy how these energies work, and that's what I believe in, right? Spirits, and
Energy,
not
spirits,
that
yeah.
kind of spirits,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. No, I get it. Like energy.
energy, yeah. And that's
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah, yeah. You know what vibe means, right?
yeah,
When a
vibe.
person says that
It's vibrations. It's your energy as well. It's
vibration. Yeah.
what frequency you kind of vibe on,
Okay, so
and
how for you, like how do you catch a vibe, like for any person,
bro,
and how long does it take for you to? because I do see that your company is it's sort of like my company as well. We definitely, at least we know not to have troubled company. We've always
Yeah.
kept company which has had good vibes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do we do it?
I am generally quite recently, actually, in the last few years, have been I'm just very observant. And I don't know, I call it, it's a superpower or whatnot, but, and I'm not trying to praise myself here or something, but
No,
I
no,
feel
of
like
course.
I can judge people really well. Like,
You know,
what,
that's what I said. I can vouch for that because a lot of your friends are my friends, and a lot of my friends are your friends. So
yeah,
that in itself means something, right? Like that in itself is like a proof of concept. So go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So in a way, like, I feel like I can see through them, and then I can catch those vibrations early on, and it just comes from being more observant. There is ways you can practice
Yeah,
being
yeah.
more and more
Is there
observant.
like a characteristic that sticks out for you? Are there any red flags like
No,
that?
it's just body language and the way they talk and the that kind of stuff.
Okay,
It's not specific characteristics at all, because I have questioned myself on multiple occasions on this, and it's not specific things, specific characteristics, because I would see those same characteristics in other people, but have different kind of body language, and then I would sort of go through that. But for me, how I look at it is everybody kind of emits a certain kind of energy, and those
okay,
vibrations, the vibe we call it, is just different energy
okay. So
piece.
okay, have you been ever wrong about someone like that?
Of course, of course, but very rarely, and not. I would have that. I wouldn't be convinced about that person. Like, I would have that, you know.
Okay,
Uh,
what do you mean by convinced? Like you're not both feet in, like you're one
okay,
feet in, 1 feet out.
yeah, kind of like that. If
Okay.
someone I meet, I'm convinced, like, I can tell in the first one, two meetings that, okay, this is this kind of person, and then most often than not, obviously everybody does this. Don't think of me as a judgmental person or not.
No,
Everybody,
no, of course, of course.
that's our way of being, right? We look at something, we look at different things, and we make
Okay,
we make certain assumptions and judgments, right? I see those unfold with time, and then I'm like, man, like,
for sure. Yeah, with time,
they're all
time
like
is
they're all like they're like, yeah, exactly how I thought it would be. But the thing with that is, I want to put it out there, and it might even help someone. We cannot operate in this life without judgment. So hear me out what I'm saying
of
here, right?
course, of
The
course.
problem is, we've obviously lived our life, we do certain things, and then we learn something from those things, and then in the future we make our judgments based on how we've experienced past, right? The problem with judgment comes, and a lot of people are not aware of how the mechanics of this work. You would judge, right? But the problem starts when you act on that judgment without questioning it. Doesn't make sense.
Fair,
Everybody judges,
fair.
right? So
Everybody does, yeah.
yeah, it's when you take that uh, judgment for reality and you act on it without questioning it or putting in more effort to find out more information or questioning it or understanding more about it. You know what I mean? But in
Yo, I mean, bro, it's absolutely absurd what this saying is. Don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, what the hell are we supposed to judge it with? it's
yeah,
it's of course I'm not like just looking. I don't have like an X-ray or like a eye scanner in my retinas to just scan the person and get to know everything. Of course, look, the first impression is definitely a huge. I wouldn't say it's the last impression. I would say it's a huge impression. And judging a book by its cover, it's the most important thing, man. I would not. It's very simple. If I were to say in a very layman term, I would not pick up a book if it does not have an interesting title. I would not pick up a book if it does not have an interesting cover, if it does not have a colorful cover. I don't know, man. I am primitive like this, but yeah, I mean, for sure, in a bookstore, you have thousands of books. You're going to pick up a book if you already do not have a premeditated decision, like I want to buy a certain book, let's call it book X. I would be browsing in a certain category.
yeah,
Okay, let's say we just put that as as an analogy to categories as male and female, right? Bookstore being a collection of people, right? A category of book, like on a particular topic, being male or female, right? And then if you want to further dive down, let's say age, right? If I'm gonna go in a bookstore, right? I'm gonna pick out each book. I'm gonna just look at the cover, and if a cover excites me, it is exactly what I would like to read about, what I'm interested in, and what I would like to give my time to invest in. Then for sure, that is that book cover. There is no way in hell I'm gonna spend 10 hours in a bookstore on a day trying to get to know each book. Okay, this
Yeah,
book this says this or that. So of course, you're absolutely right, spot on. We judging a book by its cover does not have to come with making your full and final impression, like you said, without having to question those things which are questionable. But yes, guys, we all do judge. It's very simple. It's the harsh truth that it's like a politically correct answer to say that don't judge a book by its cover. But we all know that we do. When you look at a person, look, I'll be very honest. Before getting into fitness, I for me, is very self-aware about this fact that I was not physically fit. And you know what that says about me? That I don't care about this, my body.
yeah,
As simple as that.
it's true.
You want to put it in any words as you can, right? But
Yeah,
if a person is not physically fit, if there is a physical condition, apart from that, there is no
obviously,
excuse.
if they're
It's
able to,
just
able to.
yes, exactly. If they're able to, yeah, it just means that you're not looking after yourself, that you're not caring after yourself, and that if you're not looking after yourself, if you're not capable of taking your care, how are you going to take care of others? That's a
Yeah,
big statement.
it's
So I feel like that is a topic on its own. But I just wanted to add some points, and because things like these get me very excited, so
yeah,
I'm going to
no,
control my
I
excitement.
agree. And we can talk so much about this, but it's just that you're gonna make judgment, but have that awareness uh, to then question the judgments you're getting and where they're coming from, because they're obviously deep rooted. So kind of question them, and then have that rational mind where you know that you could be wrong, which opens room for you to be curious about what else could it be, and then encourages you to ask more questions and find out more. I've journaled a lot on this, and then
Mm,
I just pulled it up as well, so
wow.
I just want to read it out quickly. It's not going to take long, but it's a good summary of how these are kind of lessons I give to myself, and then it's a
Sure,
reminder.
please.
So, yeah, we as humans are programmed to pass judgments based on our past experience and understanding of the world. It is how we operate and make our decisions. By understanding the situation, calculating the risks and rewards, making subtle judgments, and there we have our final decision. We do this
True.
daily, thousands of times, most times unknowingly, subconsciously, right? That is how we differentiate good from bad and make progress in life. Therefore, when people say don't judge, it's impossible to do that because we are programmed to do exactly the same thing. It's automatic. It happens before you know it. Now, although good in a lot of situations, we should train our minds to be more aware of all the judgments being passed, because some of them we may choose to not act on. So it's not a problem that you judge. The problem begins when you fall victim to it and take action. Action is the problem. It is important to be open and curious when it comes to people. Assumptions made may not be true, and the action taken may not be appropriate. So judge, but before you take any actions, be curious and find out more and question yourself at least as well.
Exactly.
If that judgment is coming from the right place, or nobody's perfect. So
Exactly.
yeah.
No,
Uh,
true. If you are choosing to pick that book up, you must read it. Like Pramit said, you must read it. You must take time to understand it. You must take time to ask questions from it, and then you must form your judgment. Because you see, I would like to put it into phases. That's your first judgment. It does not have to be your last, and it does not have to be your definitive.
yeah.
But you must make further efforts to complete your judgment, to just give it like a meaning to it, give it a face, basically. So
Question
yeah,
it.
true.
Yeah. I just say,
Yeah.
like, when people, with people as well, like, there's
Mhm.
so much controversy going on around gender roles and this and that and whatnot. But I just say, like, if you're unsure, just ask. And
Just
I
ask.
think that's
Yeah, life is simple
easy,
like
and
this.
anybody can do
Simple.
that. Yeah. But anyway, I think we should cut it here. Do you have anything to say? Any last few words?
No, man. As usual, time flies when we're doing this, and we really hope. I mean, for us, like we've mentioned many times before, this is something of a selfish project, and every minute for us has been just so enlightening, and it's just been so positive. And this is something that we look
Yeah.
forward at the end of the week. You know, it's such a high. It gives us such a rush of dopamine, and yeah, guys. Take everything that we say with a grain of salt, and just form
Yeah.
your own opinions, form your own judgments, and just enjoy life, live love, and
Yeah.
be happy. And see you soon.
Yeah, we don't claim to be experts on anything or whatnot. This is just an outlet for us to share our journey and kind of better present ourselves what we are, and then kind of improve and grow from that position, and then take everyone along as well. So I just hope in some way it brought some value to you. If it did, please support us. You can like and subscribe, and just engage with us as well. We love talking about different things. Just being me and Anas are like conversationalists, so we just love talking. So engage with us through comments, whatever you want to talk about, or perhaps you want to suggest something that we could talk about, and then we will see you in the next one. All right.
All right, guys, take care.